What's up, Zero? Do you YouTube? Are you working? Are you operating? Are we up updating? Yes. Also, there is no audio test. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and it is whatever. We will live in the shadows, and that will be fine. In terms of not knowing how it is going to be sounding and whatever. No. Wait. Before doing anything else, I need to actually start the timer. There we go. Sorry. I had forgotten about that. There we go. That. And I need. There is a beautiful problem. I need to set up the game capture now, so that's gonna be a thing. Game is Gnomes. Wow! Watch this. It was instantaneous. I didn't have to change anything. Wow. Now back to here. What am I looking for? How is what? I was looking for something. What was I looking for here? I was looking for something. I already forgot what. So doesn't matter, I guess. The point is that it works. So with that, we should be happy. What was I actually going to look up? Fuck. Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes you don't really want to look up anything. You just want an excuse to write this stuff. You have something to look at yourself and whatnot. So it is whatever. Let me copy this. Yes. Let me paste it here. And it's 13. Amazing. There we go. Finally, something that isn't a part of exile today. Which doesn't mean that we're not coming back to the game. It is just a break. Just I was gonna say a brain teaser unavoidably. Not that. What the fuck? How is it? Now I remember what I was looking for and the context in which how it sounds. Okay. How does it sound basically? I didn't actually utilize something that wrong, I guess, so it's fine. Whatever. Very good. Now, yeah, literally everything else. Let me open this thing over here. Let me mute this thing. Is it muted? Yeah. It's going to be fun to see that this game will end up working at like 3 FPS. It's going to be comedy. Gold. The golden so-called or something like that. Also, wait, can you mute this? Yeah, there we go. Okay, you're right. How much of a delay? There are always like 30 seconds of, not 30, 20 seconds of delay between the YouTube transmission. The Twitch transmission, there are 20. And between the Twitch and my in real time, I guess, the things that I say are always bound to the past anyways. It's to some extent it's not really present. something odd time being way too strange, whatever. Point being, yeah, between real time and Twitch, that is the one with the least delay. There are also like how many? 5 seconds or so. No, not that much in this case. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Anyways, it means that we're right basically. Also, the next question is, can we get this to open? I started my day sounding like a dying dog, like it was, I wouldn't say strange. Oh, no, yeah, I mean, it is strange to some extent how it sounds sometimes, but yeah, it is actually strange, actually, no. Cannot really defend it as, no, it's not that strange. It is strange, but we just get accustomed to things sounding weird here, so this whatever. Point being that, yeah, I started my day something like that, strange, and it was quite crazy to see that, like, I wasn't expecting that particularly myself. Also to realize something, in this BRB screen we don't even have the alerts. I am amazing. Why don't I have them enabled? Like, what am I doing, man? What are you doing? Let me paste this here. It should work like that. Let me over there. Yes, there we go. Amazing. And anything else? Not really. I think we just need to wait a little bit. Where internet works well enough, so it's simply about having patience until we actually start. This week probably we could try to organize something in terms of, let's see if this week, next week, somewhere around this, before this month ends, probably try to actually get things in order to make sure that one of the weeks is out reading the Mahabharata. The issue is it's so difficult. Not difficult in terms of, oh no, yeah, I am physically incapable of doing that. To do that, I need to also not study as much, and that's an issue. It's something that requires a lot of effort to actually do well, to do it the way in which I like it, basically, and that is annoying. Not in terms of, oh no, yeah, I do not like it. It has requirements basically, and we can try to skip them, but I don't think that skipping any of that sort of stuff is really beneficial. Like, in the end, doing things properly in that sense of, yeah, we shall try to actually read the Mahabharata well enough and whatnot, is throw to work or something like that. It is one of those many texts that do require active attention. Basically, it's meaningless. Like for example, I remember the last time I opened something at a random, and let me see. Here, for example, despair and the grotesque. Among the many forms of the grotesque, I find the one whose roots are steeped in despair more unusual and complex. The other forms have less intensity. It is important to note that the grotesque is inconceivable without intensity of feeling. And what intensity is deeper and more organic than despair? The grotesque appears only in very negative states. When great anxiety arises from a lack of life, the grotesque is an exaltation in negativity. I can read that. We can read the Mahabharata also. The point is also having a meaning behind what is being read, not just to, yeah, you know what, we're progressing throughout the pages. To some extent, it is bothersome enough to realize that indeed we're not moving through the Mahabharata at a rapid pace. Like every single week we're reading like 50 pages, but at the same time, it is necessary to actually analyze stuff like what's the point if we're gonna do it like here, what's the point behind not trying to think out what's being read or whatsoever, you know? So to some extent the point is, yeah, to dedicate some time to do things in a quote-unquote proper manner, actively engaged in what's happening basically. But yeah, it's whatever. Anyways, good morning. We have been hearing. I have no. I am going to be absolutely amazed if it actually has some sort of issue. But yeah, we have been hearing the background, or not background, OST of the game that we're gonna be playing. That is, let me hear this thing, Gnomes. Wow, such an amazing video game. What is Gnomes about? It is about gnomes, as the title indicates. No, it's sort of tower defense or like I don't really know exactly how to define it. But the point is something simpler than Path of Exile. I am today particularly. I am mentally exhausted from that thing. So yeah, we're gonna be taking a tiny detour basically. But yes, that's what's gonna be happening today. Besides that, nothing else really in any other way different, I would say. But yeah, the point is, I don't know, it has been very great to actually have the possibility of being here for this much. I wasn't really expecting to be capable of doing this stuff in this particular way of yeah, you know what, we can concentrate on trying to possess some sort of consistency whatsoever. It's, even if it sounds weird, yeah, I think that most of the time it doesn't really happen that one gives themselves the possibility of really saying, yeah, today we shall try to be here with this much degree of consistency and whatnot, and the degree of being. It doesn't really have anything to do with professionalism. That's an unnecessary word in that sense. It simply is about the reality that, yeah, in the end it ends up being possible for us to organize things and furthermore to say, yeah, you know what, and we actually end up being here and having a, how do you describe it actually? It's not, yeah, it's not consistency in terms of discipline. To some extent, something like that. Some moderate form of discipline, basically. And having that is quite, not just quite good in terms of, yeah, what a nice thing to actually have. Unavoidably, that is amazing, but it is also about the whole fact that it gets to happen at all. Like, there is, for example, one of the many notions that I like to hear when people talks about that sort of stuff is it doesn't really have anything to do to some extent with consistency and whatnot. There are some other things at play in these cases about the whole aspect of yeah, you can really apply yourself to what you are trying, and you can really make sure that this is happening, and you can really therefore put the effort in order to make sure that those things lead to something. And all of that, besides the consistency aspect and the discipline aspect, has also a lot to do with, are you truly interested in what you are trying to do? There is the gnome. It's fine. It's gnomes plural. The tiny game in which we come here to shoot gnomes basically, or something like that. No, no. We have the gnomes. We actually have the gnomes, and we come here to shoot goblins. That's the story. Our enemies are these. I cannot zoom in. Amazing. I wanted to zoom in. I cannot zoom in. These things here are the enemies, and these things here are the good guys. I don't really know if they are good guys. I just know that they are what we use. If they are good or not, that might be up to your own discretion or something like that. But yeah, point is, and I feel like it is quite a great game. I don't know. I have played such a great amount of it. Also, thank you for the lurk. Hope you have a great lurking session, I guess. Wait, I can do this. Is this actually going to work? Probably. So wait. It's not exactly going to work, but it didn't kill me, so happy enough with that. Yeah. How to wait? How to go about this? I can do this. 10. I can do. I love that part of the game is the puzzle of solving how to place your turrets. And the situation is, it is to some extent difficult. I would agree because also I have been progressing through, my god, through all the other areas, and it gets more complicated the farther you get in terms of mechanics and whatnot. Like, for example, now you have things that grow, these things that give the enemies have a probability, I think, of not taking any damage whatsoever because they have that armor mechanic, so it gets interesting. But it is still great, I feel like. It's also probably I have already lost. Something tells me that I don't have enough damage. Yeah. I have been stuck at this setup for probably the last 2 hours or so. I I think it is a simple enough game, but at the same time, it is incredibly complicated somehow. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. But it's fine. It's whatever. We like them complicated, anyways. What what is a game without any depth whatsoever to its mechanics and whatnot? What is the flavor of things if they don't have that much complexity within them that makes it so that you feel like you're losing your mind whenever the puzzle isn't instantaneously solvable, so to speak? What lies there for us who do not get to appreciate the complexity between such arrangements and such? So, it is good enough. But no, anyways, I was trying to say something about. I should stop whispering. I keep forgetting that I start. I have. I don't even know why I picked up now this time. It happened somehow, and I just went along with it. Like, no reason to really try to change it, so didn't do anything to make sure that it doesn't happen. But it probably isn't really that. I don't know. Something about listening it in someone else and to some extent being like, what the fuck? Why are you whispering so much? What's your problem? But it's part of the experience, I guess. You come here and you have to expect me to for some random reason be whispering. For some unexplainable reason. Also, once I'm lost, this is not going to be this is not going to be a stream in which I win. That's not the gameplay today. The gameplay is something else entirely. Beans make a radioactive fertile ground understandable, but no, anyways. I was trying to say that I don't know, yeah. I feel like games of this sort are quite amazing. And sadly, it's not that there are not enough, it's just that most of those that exist do not get appreciated enough. That's what I feel like. But it's not like this game is absolutely unknown. I think I have seen a handful of people talk about it throughout the time, but perhaps, okay, you can always say this is going to be one of those games that throughout time will, or with enough given time, will ascend to a, that's quite a pretentious word, will become far more known, will reach a status of classic, so to speak. It does a handful of things well enough to be considered not revolutionary, might not be exactly the right word, but innovative enough to actually deserve that much. Yeah, this is amazing. But point being, as I said, who knows if we're actually going to win any run. I hope so, because it will be actually to some extent sad to not win any of them. Like, that shouldn't happen. We should be capable of winning at least one. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Sometimes things are outside of your control. Sometimes you find yourself just lost in the sea of possibilities, and despite what you might have wanted, things don't get to be what you actually desired. So it is all good. But whatever. No, wait. Actually, let me have it. Let me see. If you aren't lying, I can probably now for real. Yeah, you haven't lied at all, so. Now, returning to what I was trying to talk about yesterday. It was so beautiful to be here yesterday and out of nowhere to see that the internet died on me so randomly. That was amazing. But what I actually wanted to say is, this is something that I have been thinking about, and I despite saying that yesterday I found a little bit more about it, it is still an idea in development, so to speak, so I have continued to try to understand anything about it and try to reach any useful notion about the said idea itself, in terms of, yeah, it seems to be something interesting. The issue is actually giving one of the many problems in general. With anything of this sort, these things are interesting, but they are as interesting as you're capable of actually appreciating. I died also, yeah. As much as you're capable of appreciating the potential of the interest within the thing that you see, within the thing that you observe and whatnot. And in this case, I feel like it is something useful, or it can be something meaningful, but the issue is paying enough attention to actually find out why. Or it's not, you can say paying enough attention, like it always is an easy solution to blame it on that external thing of, you were not imbibed in what was the narration and you were not following that road and whatever. To some extent it is an understandable way to go about it, but it doesn't mean that it is an acceptable mode of explaining why things might be or why things might not be and such. And in this case I feel like, yeah, something absolutely important, no, not absolutely important enough, like this thing. What am I talking about? This idea, give me a second, is useful as long as you can actually follow the train of thought to realize why it at all has that very same potential. Now, for real, let me actually start. I Some days ago I talked about something related to the quality of the things that we consume and the things that we're capable of observing, and even more, the the things that we can observe and the media that we can, not that we can, that we do have around us, and that we throughout our life make usage of, get accustomed to, also intaking and whatnot. And all of that is in itself very simple to some extent, like yeah, it's not really that complicated to get that I am indeed paying attention sometimes to stuff that I watch, to stuff that I listen to, and where I started and where I basically finished without really advancing that much more was there are some layers to all of this stuff, and that is we have basically this quality of things that seem to have some sort of metaphorical value. And I remember what I actually had to search because that was driving me crazy. Okay, yeah, indeed, it was right. I wasn't as crazy. It is live action, not just for the adaptations from other media to cinema, but live action in general is the thing that utilizes real actors, simply put, and that is important as insofar as we can actually get the aspect of when we are talking about productions and when we are talking about the medias that we get accustomed to consuming, there seems to be a hidden value within all of those things, or not exactly hidden in terms of nobody talks about it, but rather unexpressed simply because of how we have gotten accustomed to associating to them, basically. And I feel like one of those many cases, in this case too, is also the aspect of, or the notion of, yeah, when you talk about movies, when you talk about live actions and when you talk about animations, there are different qualities to them that might not be directly spoken to about, I guess, but they do exist, as insofar as we are capable of pronouncing their existence in itself, so to speak. We we do admit to some extent that there is something related to the quality of the things that we consume and the things that I wouldn't say produce, but the media that exists around us that contains different sorts of messages. The point is, within all of those things, there is a not exactly hidden, but a section of the stuff embedded in meaning and whatnot that is associated with basic stuff like animation. What not exactly saying as it is always basic, but rather how we get accustomed to thinking about it. Animations and whatnot, what we could easily categorize as media for children, that kind of stuff contains messages of different sorts that once you look at them with an adult mind, so to speak, you can realize that there are a lot of metaphorical values and imposed messages which are not truly explicit by themselves, which are not included for an infantile audience, so to speak. The point is, it feels like most of the media out there nowadays is not really, even if the primary audience is are children's, basically, you can still find out that there is a huge portion of the outcome that did not take into consideration children particularly. There is something out them that is also right amazing. That is directed more at the adult watching them, and the adult who is willing to try to find out those metaphorical values. And this way of expressing things that are indeed meaningful, but once again, which remain in some way or another hidden to the basic eye. And that does have an importance, because in the end, it is mostly about the quality of, what I am consuming has any message of this sort, or am I just watching something that is far more simpler, that has no embedded meaning, basically. Because in reality, there are some things that do have that quality, that are based around the simplicity of the message. There is no implied thing whatsoever. You understand that there is nothing that you have to try to think about, like things in themselves in a live action movie are far more explicit in nature, supposedly. But that is, I feel like that's what I was trying to say yesterday. The reality is, I feel like after trying to consider it a bit more, there are a lot more of euphemisms, particularly in live actions. It's not that a live action doesn't contain anything of that sort, but rather that we find it far more natural to utilize euphemisms to talk out the things that we consume when it is in a live action scenario, so to speak. It's more difficult to see an actor directly speak out the things than it is to get that there is something being implied. The things which are being talked about not directly, but which you understand, seem to have some sort of meaning of once again, some sort of apparent, as long as you're trying to actually think about it, understand the whole message, but which still require a little bit of attention from the consumer of the media, basically. And that happens to the degree to which nowadays it almost seems like it is impossible to not have media be like that in general. It is impossible to not have something have that very same aura of, indeed. Why? When I take this gnome out, it doesn't count it for the gold. Interesting. Anyways. What matters is that it seems to be, the world in itself seems to be a place full of meanings of this sort. We actually have a lot of things that carry those very same shapes and those very same methods of expressing ideas. We have quite a huge tendency for those symbolical layers, which do require a lot more attention and which in the end also are far more difficult to actually get at a first glance. I guess you could very easily say they are not really all that apparent, they are not really all that understandable. You need to put a lot of brain into actually getting what is the thing that you're consuming, what is the thing that you are watching, what is the thing that you are observing, whatever. And it's not that it is bad, it's not that, but it is crazy to see that it truly seems to be the case that we have adapted ourselves to the consumption of those sort of medias to the degree to which now it is fine to have that exist everywhere, because that's where I was finding myself when thinking about it. It seems to be everywhere. Like, You cannot escape even children media. You cannot escape even the most basic form of entertainment from having that. Everything has some layer of metaphorical value, some layer of it's not second intention, it's second degree subtext, basically subtext. Yeah. And everything is possessor of that. Everything does carry that quality with itself. It's not something negative, it's not something absent, it's a rather something possible to ascertain as long as the person can actually, yes, a simple method to describe it will be as long as the person is truly interested in realizing what are those things, they can actually very easily find out which of those qualities are embedded in most of the medias nowadays, because indeed they are present, but at the same time the issue is getting to actually see in a more direct way why that might be the case. Like, you can get that stuff carries a message, but you might not actually get the message itself. And I will say, unavoidably, that is a problem according to the way in which we arrange our creations and we arrange our medias and whatnot. Unavoidably, it is negative that the things that we try to communicate are not easily observable. But yeah, I'm not saying that it is something bad. I am just amazed at the nature of this, to the degree to which it seems to be all so normal, to the degree to which it all seems to be acceptable. I am pretty sure before it wasn't the case. Not in a way, it seems to be almost as if we have slowly been moving towards more metaphorical values hidden within everything. Every single thing can, to some degree, contain something of that sort. Every single thing can, to some degree, communicate something like that, and can, to some degree, carry and express something of that very same nature. And it's not bad that it does happen in that way, but rather it is crazy to see that when you look at older stuff, the message was far more implied. When you look at older things, you could far more easily get everything that was being talked about. You didn't have to think about what was being consumed in most cases. Whereas nowadays, you're given the possibility of understanding, analyzing, and acquiring those messages, and by doing so, you end up in the end basically unlocking the layer of yeah, now I actually get what we're talking about, and now I actually get what's this other layer of meaning hidden within the media that I'm watching, and all of that is, I would say, unavoidably amazing. It's nice to see that indeed so many things actually have that, exist within them, to the degree to which now you can see so many things have those layers of meaning and those layers of signification, but it is still weird to see it on the same level exist, the normalization of all of that, because the world didn't seem to be like that before. We have slowly been moving towards that somehow, and while that is acceptable, my point still is not that it is bad, but it is crazy to see that it has become the case. I expressed it somewhat wrong before. It's not that before it didn't exist, simply put. It did exist, but it was rare. It did occur, but it wasn't the normal, the standard. It wasn't the thing that you saw everywhere, or the thing that you understood was present everywhere. Now, almost all things seem to possess those layers of meaning and those layers of signification to themselves, basically. And it is impossible to consume something without encountering those same qualities and those same layers of meaning. And the distinction that does exist also is the barrier, I will say, between this thing is particularly about or for those messages, those meanings that have a lot more to do with simply what is the basic nature of, yeah, indeed, this is, in itself, I don't really have to think about it. I understand that what we are talking about here is this simple notion, and I encounter in media direct messages, but there are those even more complicated things which also exist that are far more consuming, far more willing to request the viewer, the consumer, to think about what's being expressed. And it is great. I guess, yeah, it is amazing that we have arrived, found ourselves at a stage in which now it is fine to have that. Now it is completely good to have that exist and be what everyone wants to watch to some extent, no? You prefer to have something that has some degree of thought behind it, rather than to watch something that makes no sense whatsoever, or that seems to have no direction based on the way in which it was created, you know? Also, can I create some path forward? Like, if I look here, okay. I can can't I do this? Yes, I can do that. I can do this. Okay, true. Took me a second, but sometimes time is not actually that hard. Just me adding way too many layers of difficulty simply because I couldn't understand how to solve it. Ah, but it happens with every single one of them, basically. It's not like, oh no, only here. Anything in particular also? I don't think so. We're good. But yeah, I was saying. And it seems to be truly the case that most things nowadays exist with those layers of encoding on them, which is not rare. It's not rare, but it is good, while at the same time strange to see that we have evolved to that. And it is still acceptable that we have it, but still having it carries with it a sensation that leaves you to some extent amazed, I will say, unavoidably, when you realize that, yeah, so many things that we have nowadays can be far more meaningful and do have far more meaning, basically. And we are not so lost in terms of what this might mean and what this might actually be about and whatnot. And because that is the case, now we talk a lot more about those very same things in a more direct manner, no? It didn't used to be the case that before we expressed the nature of these encounters with the metaphorical values and whatnot, but now, since they are so directly present, since they are so directly expressed also, it is impossible to not at least hint at their existence, you know? It will be crazy to act like they do not exist at all. So we have gotten accustomed to the mention of those very same things. Also, I am probably going to die. Yes. Me. I think I understand to some extent how I died. The issue is going to actually get a proper setup to not die here. What a situation. Wait. Can't I like... Wait. I think I need to kill myself. In-game? Wow. Why Why would I say that and not say it in game? Who could have expected me to say that and not mean it in game? Give me a second. I'll retry here. We're going with one is this, one is this, one is this, one is this. Okay, there we go. This thing by now. Should have space for this and I need to buy more houses still. Amazing. I'm trying to solve them up before I actually die yet again. Something like that, probably. I don't really know if it is going to do the work. Ah, no, not at all. I didn't move to Yotaru. What if I simply restart? Is it going to be bad? Aren't we here to try until at some point it works out? That's part of the point, no? At some point things get to work, simply put, no matter what. Even if it doesn't look like it is going to be the case today. But yeah, sorry. I was saying that yeah, everything has those layers within themselves nowadays, and it is good that they do. It is very great to see it happen. Before, it wasn't apparent if it did happen, and unavoidably, it wasn't that common to actually encounter anywhere, in most cases at all. The normal thing was actually to see that perhaps somebody was going to imply some stuff and whatnot, but slowly we have created more and more intricate stuff that allows us to have those different conversations and those more deeply thought stuff, basically. And that has become a staple of the current culture that we have, basically, to the degree to which nowadays we have a lot of things that also exist that seem to propagate that more and more. But the point is also that within those qualities there is, and I wouldn't say an issue, simply the reality of something weird seems to happen when you think out stuff of the order of but while we do have some conversations about some of these things, some others are still pretty absent and are still completely unpronounced from the common stuff that we are capable of realizing, so to speak, implying that we can actually realize stuff and whatnot sometimes. And it is good to see, once again, that we are willing to talk out this stuff, but it isn't true that we are going in depth to many of those metaphors, many of those messages. We still have most of the media still exists within the basis of it includes a vague enough resemblance of a metaphor so that if you are paying attention, you might catch the hint of what is trying to be talked about. But it doesn't really mean that there is something truly being discussed, absolutely being mentioned, nor much less in full display, so to speak. There are things that exist like that, that are embedded in some meaning, but they themselves don't really carry all the purpose that they could, so to speak, And because that ends up being the case, now we have a lot of stuff that basically seems to not be meaningful. You could say it simply as not truly. Also, wait. Retry, eh? All of these are two. I need just I need to lock this, but I also need to have this somehow function. If I can... Can't I lock you here, like... This direction, this direction? It forces you to go down here, like... This and this? It should work like that, yeah. It actually worked. I am not only surprised. This is astoundingly good, actually. Now I might... Huh? It changed what it gave me. No way. Understandable. I am going to die. I am going to die. The run is lost. It is? Yes. I could give up the totem that gives me money, basically. That could be a great solution, but I really want to get rid of you. It's so over, man. I loved my gold generating totem so much. They forced me to give it up. It's so over. Also, what? I died anyways? What are you talking about? Why did I die? Excuse me? Ah! The thing that I get from buying it also killed me. I just realized. Makes sense, makes sense. I forgot about that one drop. I am amazing. I forgot that the leash also damages you. My bad. Sometimes, indeed, the game has way too many things, so it gets hard to actually remember what you have to get rid of. If I buy you now, you give me the golden goose, which is horrible. Okay. Okay, you actually killed me, no? You actually don't give me anything that I can utilize meaningfully, so... Can I... How do you like that? No. Yeah, something tells me that this doesn't really have an easy solution. Something like that, perhaps? Not fully convinced. But I want to try. But no, it's not going to work, yeah. I think, wait. If I placed you here, you actually work well here, no? So, you can remain there. And the issue is I need to remove another thing, and I don't have that. I can buy it. I end up with no gold. Fuck. I end up with no gold because of that. Great enough, great enough. Anyways, let me continue. I was trying to say that, yeah, indeed, stuff with a semi-meaning, you could call it, exists. And because it does show in that very same quality of... This is still very basic, it doesn't really have anything special to it. People have way too much of a hard time actually getting anything out of what they consume, so most of the normal stuff seems to simply be things that give you the impression that you're getting anything without actually containing within themselves any true content of value, so to speak. And because that is so normal, in the end, it ends up also being a lot more surprising to encounter with. And indeed, I am not really gaining much from what I am watching. I am not truly acquiring that many things based on the entertainment that I get to consume. And most of it sadly has that quality to it of, we are not really getting anywhere from this. We're not really understanding anything more quote unquote appropriately, thanks to what is being watched or what is being discussed. Not that everything has to be like that, but unavoidably, if it could be like that, why not let it be like that then? Why would it be bad to let things possess that quality of complexity to themselves, you know? Why the normalization of simplicity in a let's say like this, it is complicated, but it is still understandable enough. In a culture in which so many of the things that we have are simple enough, one of the many predicated messages also becomes the possibility of simply having no message at all. That things deserve to sometimes go back to the more basic, the whole premise of we already have complex stuff out there. There are some movies that you need to have so much backlog of knowledge and so many other layers of understanding that you would need years of your life to actually be capable of ensuing them. So, in that, or yeah, to some extent, with that very same kind of ordering, then why not allow things to be simple again? Why not trace back to those eras in which nothing was truly complicated like that, where no thing had to be immersed in those qualities and no thing had to be submerged in those structurally structurally complicated ways of being understood. And because we have not exactly normalized, it is something normal in itself, it is fine. Not I'm not trying to say that it is bad to have things be like that sometimes, but because it is the case that it is so normal, then one of the many consequences of that has also become that, and we also have been slowly encountering more and more iterations of things which become less more significant in general. I'm trying to say, I'm having a hard time because I don't really feel like it is absolutely correct. There are many other things that are complicated that would explain it more so, but you could understand a lot more. Something like brain rot, basically, once you can take into consideration stuff of that sort, that makes the whole formula be, indeed, we are here trying to have these things be simple. We are here trying to have something that is just pure entertainment for the sake of entertainment. We as adults don't require anything that is that deep. So what better than to simply move back to this equality or quantity of whatever it gets to be, it's fine because in the end we can understand most stuff anyways. Why worry about the message which might or might not be hidden in what we're watching? And by the leaving something like AI take control of that decision, it is that we do end up reaching the conclusion, we do end up finding ourselves in the place of maybe, maybe then it has truly become somewhat bad to not have any degree of depthness to what we are consuming in itself. It is at that point true that maybe we have slowly lost the possibility of talking about, and this is truly what also had some value within itself, you know? This is truly what we tried to admire, what we truly tried to comprehend, what was, in an older term, an elevated art form, you know? Now, most of the stuff is, I, I died completely outside of my control, by the way. What an encounter. can do this to cover even more map. Also, I can buy this. I think it's not really that good, but we'll see. Yeah, to some extent I knew that one was more of a absolute RNC death than anything else, sadly. Can happen, sometimes can happen. Can be the case. So sweet, unlucky enough, and you are forced to die no matter what you choose. Is this going to be the same thing? Like, it's supposedly the exact same thing. Something tells me. We are going to see. Perhaps not. Hopefully, things go well in this case. No, in this case, yeah, I think somewhat forced to actually. I don't have anything also to actually save myself. No, not even these will save me, so. Yeah, nothing. Okay, try again, yet again. I hate this map, man. I have come to accept the reality that in there. I absolutely despise this map. Wait! Oh, I thought it was... No, it's actually good, I mean... It's 4 blocks, 7 blocks, 6 blocks, so good enough. No crate whatsoever. What's more lovely than that? Why have your wool rely on anything else? Just have it be entirely based on crate, after all. For sure you are going to hit one. Hmm? I'm going to lose it. No, let me restart. Okay, continuing. And in that very same way of encoding stuff. No, sorry. What I think happens also a lot is because we have already normalized that adult things might not actually need to be that deep, the desire which exists within most of the current minds to create something complicated ends up being expressed in the creations that end up in the hands of children, so to speak, in a clearer way, basically. It's almost impossible to not see in, as I said before, in kids media, that sort of content, which is a lot more full of metaphors, which only an adult can actually pick up in terms of, yeah, I can identify the form of the idea a lot more after having tried to think about it and after having tried to get what's the actual thing being discussed. Not that it is something bad, not at all, but it truly might not be possible for me to get why we are talking about this thing, why we are thinking about this thing, and why we are discussing it until I have done much of the working of the process itself too. I need to go through a lot more to actually get sometimes what are the things that we're trying to communicate and what are the things that we are trying to get from these other kind of medias. Not that it is bad, but the issue is because it is normalized in kids media, then it is far more necessary for one to spread thinner, so to speak, to have to go out there and see, wait, what what is being talked about nowadays in these other spaces too? What are the ideas and notions and the things that kids are consuming? It has almost become necessary for an adult to be immersed in those medias. I remember something about, I think it was Bluey. What was it exactly? I don't remember. That's one example of. Is it Bluey? Bluey supposedly is something not so simple. A more proper example. I when I was speaking about it before, a far more understandable example itself is stuff like the older, not exactly older as wow, such an old thing, but simply these other pieces of content and these other pieces of media which always existed that were for teens. The teen media also has that very same, those very same creations and those very same things exist within themselves, and that also gives them that aura of mysteriousness, so to speak, that ends up complicating what is being talked out and what is the conclusion that the audiences reach. But in itself, the point that matters is that, we also have them exist in those other spaces which are occupied still for or by an audience that is quote unquote a younger mind, that is quote unquote a simpler creation in itself, not something that should be so complicated, not something that should be so hard to actually get. Also, I have to admit, I ruined that run because I got too greedy. Gnomes arranging at seats and pairs get the lower cooldown of the two. Understandable. This seems like an absolutely meaningful thing actually, but I don't know if I can actually afford it. Something about actually restarting. At TCM, it will pass the entire stream and I will have won 0 runs so far. It will be amazing. And you know what? The easiest way to win is for me to change build. Simple enough. I don't want to do that. You get it. You get how easy it is to change rules, but it's so meaningless. It's so easy to do that. Such a cheap solution to simply say, no, yeah, you know what, we are changing what we are doing. We are changing our current approach. That is the easy way out. I feel like it is solvable with the gaming conditions. It's not actually all that impossible. Just requires a little bit more thinking to be solved. But after that, it will be on. Anyways, I was saying, and yeah, the teen media, not exactly children, but teen media that contains those messages and that possesses those ways of speaking about the stuff and those methods of associating ideas and whatnot are all normalized to the degree to which we all now understand that it is supposed to be almost the case that whenever you consume something of that sort, you're going to encounter those messages, basically those representations, those notions and such, in a mode in which now it is almost expected, so to speak, to have to go back, to have to travel to the place to which you can, or to those areas of discourse, so to speak, to see what is being contained there, not exactly because it is an obligation, but rather because it is a possibility that we have And to do so is to take advantage of the mere nature of the way in which we have gotten accustomed to communicating stuff, and sadly, because it is the case, so it also becomes the norm that most of us will have to go to that place, and most of us will need to see things in that way, or thanks to that arrangement of content, basically. And that is, I feel like, absolutely crazy, because I didn't really expect that to be the case in terms of. I do not think that most people will expect, if you tell someone that, yeah, you know what, now that you are growing up, what you will need to do if you want to encounter enough things is also to go back and watch kids content. I wasn't really expecting that. I didn't grow up with that expectation. I didn't believe that that was going to be necessary. My life didn't have that in terms of, yeah, I understand that that is the case and that is what's going to happen unavoidably. Yet, now that I have that exists in front of me, I get why. I can, to some degree, get why. But it is still strange that it is so. It doesn't make it any less strange. It doesn't make it any less unexplainable almost. The whole aspect of, yeah. Particularly in kids media, particularly with those associations, particularly in what at a first glance can be seen as infantile and whatnot. Really? There I have to go, there I will find things of meaning, there I will find the stuff of a much more complicated nature. Truly? That's where you're telling me to explore. Not in a more natural place, simply put. Yeah. After having for so long watched all these other things, let's say like this, because that is also to some degree true, to some degree false. It's not that there is nothing important in the rest of the media, like, you still have books. Books didn't die, despite what, I don't know, most of the culture can say about them. Books are still an absolutely solid method for the absorption, the acquisition of knowledge, so to speak. It's not like they died. But what is the case is that they seem to have faded away in regards to the importance that is given to them in comparison to those other methods that are far more estimated as normal, far more accepted and integrated, societally speaking, and perceived as the norm. And that's why it feels like the case being made is, yeah, you will have to consume kids media, even if you don't want to, because in the end, it is the requirement to do that, and it is the, not exactly imposition, but the given possibility that if you decided to discard, you might as well find out you have harmed yourself by having chosen to do so. So, the requirement, the gift, the offering is, go here. You still have the other routes. It's not like unavoidably the world has made it so that we have to go through the hole that is being shown to us, otherwise we are not going to live or whatever. Not exactly that, but a lot of it is about, indeed, you want to find out about this stuff, you will need to try and see what you can actually find out, and see what you can actually discover, what you can actually understand from these pieces, and what you can actually gain from watching this stuff, basically. And in doing so, it is that, yeah, it feels to some extent surprisingly refreshing, I have to say. You wouldn't really expect so much of the world to have many important messages hidden in such a basic stuff. Because in the end it is still simple enough, like, I don't know, I have to watch a movie, I have to think about it 2 or 3 hours and I still get a message. I am happy with that, in comparison to having to I don't know, the whole concept of reading a book, the whole concept of reading something in itself, the actuality of doing it, the notion of, yeah, I will have to spend these many hours analyzing the contents, and I will have to spend these many hours trying to decipher what is being expressed here and trying to get what is being discussed and whatnot. All of that still exists to the degree to which, when you have to deal with that, it is far more cumbersome than to simply get to consume something simply, but rapidly and without any hassle whatsoever, which makes it then a lot more complicated to, I will say, yeah, normalize. But it is still enjoyable to see that most of what we have around works in that way, and most of what we can see ends up falling under that category of, yeah, you can actually get something out of what we are watching if you think about it a little bit. If you think about it a little bit, yeah. And the only issue is, I still, that's the real problem that I have with all of that. It doesn't really come directly expressed. You have to find out about that somehow, through some method, which isn't exactly expressed directly to us, which we have not yet made absolutely clear. It's like, yeah, this happens, but if you do not ever find out that this happens, you might as well completely screw yourself over, because it isn't necessary for anyone to discover that. It isn't an obligation for us to become aware of that, to become, yeah, to gain that realization, to gain that layer of understanding. Some people might at some point in their lives finally reach the point of understanding in which they realize then that, indeed, things have those layers of meaning, and things have those methods of being deciphered throughout the metaphorical analysis, throughout the method of trying to decipher that which is hidden within the far more basic structure already being presented in a simpler form to me, and that is a lot less common, a lot less normalized at such a rate that when you think about it in present terms, not that it is bad, but it is certainly difficult to try to do that whole work after so much of a life that never had that to begin with, Like, the case was not that I understood the possibility of doing that. The case was rather that if I ever got the possibility of doing something like that, perhaps it happened, and if I didn't, it is whatever, it doesn't really matter. I do not really need to think about such qualities. If it happens that I ever get a message of that kind, good. And if it doesn't happen, good still. It doesn't really require any quality of that sort. It doesn't really require any nature of that kind. Things are whatever they get to be, and I can be satisfied with whatever it is that I get in the end. Also, wait, how many trees do we have? Like, this much? Should we? Yeah, I was saying. And it is good that to some degree it happens with such a rate of freedom. The whole aspect of, yeah, because we are free to choose, we are free to then deal with the consequences of those very same actions. On one hand, on the other, it still is the eternal discussion of, but how free truly in terms of, I don't really know how much I can actually try to make sense out of things sometimes. How do I even know that what I am trying to interpret is the right mode of interpretation, is the right thing to think about, Sometimes I have to wonder if what I am at all thinking is a worthy thing to think about in itself. Is If the message that I'm trying to extract from the media is the thing that matters, so much of the process being left to the will of the person becomes absolutely randomized in the act of, if you got something out of it, it's you. And if you don't worry about it. There is no necessity for that to happen in this case. I think I would like doing anything. Wait, I can place you here and I can place you here. True. Okay, I think we have won this basically. Something tells me that we have won the run. The only problem is going to be winning without any other issue whatsoever. Like, I need a dynamite, and I think I'm not going to get any dynamite. Something tells me that there is not going to be any dynamite whatsoever. No way. Truly, no dynamite? Did I eliminate the dynamite from my life or something? How did that happen? Okay, there we go. I just needed to move that thing over there. Ah, a second I was almost about to die with the sole idea of, okay, there is nothing to actually do. They will just get through the defenses. It's all done. But no, it isn't, it isn't. Okay, final round. We should be capable of winning, no? Like, give me a second. I actually want to win, like, if it was earlier, I wouldn't really mind trolling a little bit. But right now, so close to the end, no need to do that. Let's just secure the win. And after that, I continue. Like this. One more. Like this. Okay. Should be capable of winning. Yeah, we should be absolutely capable of winning, actually. Okay, yeah, was good enough. Was good enough, was good enough. Ah. Okay, no. I love hitting every single time the continue button instead of the other one. Okay, what did we win with? Scavengers. Now comes the wizards. Amazing. Give me a second, actually. I think that the special quality is something related to the fountain unavoidably. The whole aspect of the fountain blocks your path forcibly, so there is nothing that you can do to avoid it. Therefore, you have to sit through the horrible fountain. It becomes necessary to sit through it, actually, so it's fine. We can accept that much. I think so. Ah, I get it. And not only I see what's the mechanic here. Makes sense, makes sense. It also is about the whole aspect of the graveyards create, bring with them fertile soil, basically. So that's the main advantage too. So, okay. It is, then actually it is like a much simpler map. Can't I'm to some degree screw them like. Wait, I can move that? What are you talking about? I can move them? Ah, easy enough then. I thought that I wasn't capable of doing that. Okay, there we go. So this is literally like the best accessible wool for this actually. Amazing. Understandable, understandable. Can I alter your pattern like this? Or to go like this? No. How do I want to do like this, like this? Curve over here, curve over here. Ignore this. Okay, I see. Can I block you over here? Like, you will still. Okay, there we go, there we go. Amazing. This has become a lot more interesting. This isn't actually that much of a hard map. What is this? Necromancer? Huh? Oh my god! Understandable. But sadly, they didn't know that I can move stones, so didn't matter at all. Wait, I can move that. I can remove that. I need to get over what happened. I got absolutely dumbfounded by the mechanic and the synergy with this whole thing, but I am still a little bit in shock, like, wow, it actually is a lot easier. It doesn't mean that I am good enough to win. Anyways, like, I am so amazing. There we go. And this is. So, I am to some degree condemned? No, not exactly. Okay. So much of it is going to be simply about moving around stuff. That's gonna be actually crazy, like, think about all the placements that will need to happen over here. Like that, then I want you to. How do I want you to move? Like, how can you move to in with anything? Can you detour over here? You can, can't you? Like, what stops you from detouring to in which I want you to do it? There we go, there we go. Amazing, now this became a maze building game. Oh lord, what an amazing game. I see why people like it then. It makes so much more sense. Now it became a game about building a dungeon actually. Now it finally clicked with amazing. That's an amazing video game out of nowhere. The quality went from a 6 to a 9. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I am entirely absorbed in the build your own maze mechanic, but let me focus. Amazing. Beautiful. It is. Man discovers fire, what is it? Colorized. Or pictured, yeah. Wow. And they are also easy because of that. Wow. And I can literally make it 10 times easier simply by removing the graves. It trivializes the whole game. Why would they let you do that? Ah, yeah. Understandable. I wasn't aware of your aim. I see. Nothing to repent out. Wait. Can I force you to vote merits? Like, you can come over here? Yeah. What a battling game it has become out of nowhere. Wow. Literally allowed building paths. Beautiful. I get it now, I get it. Me when it finally makes sense. And I make so much cash also. Oh my god, I also almost died. I see, so I probably like need to do it in that way, unavoidably. Otherwise I'm going to kill myself. Not in a soccer way, but literally. Simply seeing how all the enemies seem to interact with this stuff. Okay. So, how do we do this? Can I get enemies to go like... Wait a second. Yes, I can get enemies to do that. I can block them from here, block here. Block there, there we go. Okay. So they have to do all of that traveling, all of that pathing just to... You really have to kill my plant? You're such a fucker. Okay, I lose one plant. I can accept that loss. Can I? I don't know. Sometimes it seems so easy to say things. It's so easy to say, yeah, it doesn't matter. Losing something is just a transaction. Sometimes things come and go, things disappear, things in my life happen, pass, and I remain in the end, so it doesn't matter what. The truth is so much different, the world is so much stranger. So much of myself is shattered at the moment in which I have to actually accept that something has left my side. I can say that I don't care if I lose a plant. How will I actually react when it does happen? What a question. Too much of a question for me. There we go. Beautiful. This is peak gameplay. Also, what is this? Zombie goblin spawner. Many tough, slow goblins. Understood. I didn't want to enter into the flow, but this game forces you to, out of nowhere, become so aware of everything. Amazing. I can still kill them, literally with this exact same setup, so very good. I should have... I can't kill myself, it's so over. I should have placed more plants just to increase the income. Late stage capitalism and its consequences have been atrocious for the human being. The desire to always generate more, to always have an extra cash, to always have an extra coin. Sometimes you don't need that much, sometimes you're fine with just a handful of bills in your hand. Sometimes your life is good as it is, but the desire for even more, the ever-consuming desire for even more is such that the person in the end destroys even the thing that they care about the most. Also, I almost killed myself. Almost. Why? Because once again, I graded it out absolutely horrendously. But it is also meaningful. What do we have here? Does it even matter what they are like? Don't I kill them whatever they are? Regardless? Like, okay, wow, so many skeletons. I have so much area damage. Does it really matter? No, yeah, on a weather, it doesn't matter at all. Okay. Okay. Good. So, what the fuck is this? Since Wizard Gnomes summon a new... What? A new gnome. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just need to place like 20 homes now then. The implication was... The message, the hidden message, was something about the evolution of societies and whatnot, out of nowhere. Amazing. What a fantastic game. You don't realize it, but it's so... That makes sense, no? That makes sense. It was so peak indeed. Watch them summon stuff. Amazing. An army slowly gets created. This is so on. This is so over for the goblins. I didn't even intentionally do it. It wasn't like, yeah, today we're gonna play this. Anyways, it's in the bag. Just need to make sure that we don't lose, I guess, something like that. What would be a necessarily good addition, like something that heals me probably? Will I get it? Perhaps not. If that does happen, that's going to constitute a problem. But we have to trust the process. For sure it will happen, right? Like, why will it not happen? What is this? Palantir. Wow, Palantir? Incredible Palantir. My favorite espionage program and massive surveillance. Nothing better than to know the reference. Okay. I think we're good. Zombie King. My king, basically. What does the Zombie King do? I cannot even see it. No need actually. Okay. Good enough. Easy enough, I guess then. Simple enough. Amazing. You have no clue how amazing that was. So much for struggling with the game, I guess. Also, why is there a nuclear bomb? Like, the hell is going on with that? Nuclear bomb detonates in a large radius, destroying everything and creating radioactive fertile. Understandable. If you say so, I guess. Can I detonate you? How do I detonate a nuclear bomb? How do I make that happen? Like, also, what the fuck is this? I don't even have. Understandable. I don't even have access to. This game is so random sometimes. What is this world? I literally cannot place anything to make damage. The fuck is this? Also, what will happen with the nuclear bomb? Like, will they trigger it? I don't get it. Like, what's making money? Why did I get? Ah, from the ancient seal. Sorry, I am mentally. This should be easy. Also, like, I looked in for nothing actually. Okay, there we go. And I still need something that lets me. Okay, give me a second. Because I have lost myself in the game, at some point it became so incredibly weird every single bolt that it offers you that I lost myself in that. I have been trying to say then, finally, returning to what I was saying, like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago or so. Then at this point, perhaps, probably, taking into consideration how long it took me to actually return. Excuse me. I promise you, motorbike rider, faster on road. What is road? Ah, this is a road, understandable. And they still have like 1 HP? What's up with this area? Why is every single enemy 1 HP here? What's the deal with that? Also, wait, what happens if I blow you up? Ah, doesn't happen anything. I thought it was going to be like, oh no, it's so over. It's so absolutely over. But it wasn't the case at all. Anyways, I can do a gnomeless run actually. Amazing. Wasn't expecting that. Ah, the trick, the catch was that the riders, after riding, lose their bikes and become normal. Understandable, so it actually is like horribly bad. Understandable. Okay, anyways, I am still dumbfounded by all the different mechanics that this game seems to somehow have. What the fuck was that? I died? How did I die? I was at 1 HP. I was at 1 HP actually. I was indeed at 1 HP. I absolutely was at 1 HP. Who could have predicted that? Me forgetting about the killing going. Ah. Also, what happens if I plant that? Like, do you still get rid of it? Yeah. So meaningful. It's game testing. Most of it is. Also, most of the items are centered around gnomes. Unavoidably, I'm not getting gnomes, so I'm sort of screwing myself with that. I should not at all do a gnomeless run. It is like asking to be killed, basically. But it's fine. Sometimes it takes a handful of errors to understand the things at hand, at risk in such cases, so it's whatever. Anyways, now returning to normality. Before I actually find out yet another new mechanic. A slime golem spawner? Amazing! You don't get it. This game is full of surprises. Every single time there is a new mechanic. Anyways, I was trying to say, yeah. I don't know, I feel like when I order it to some extent it is based on what I was trying to say. The whole notion of, yeah, and in the end, we have a lot of stuff that is somewhat related to the aspects, the very basic aspects that we can see, we can understand, we can grasp, and we can to some extent explore, related to what is the metaphorical values hidden within the artistical stuff and within the medias and whatnot. And one of the other conclusions that I was missing was that, and also sadly, something that does happen within all of that is that I don't think it is that revelatory, so to speak, but indeed there is a lot of also stuff that gets to be not mentioned simply due to how it works. Simply because in the end, so many things get normalized to the degree to which it's fine. The whole aspect of it is understood that kids media will have that sort of content within themselves, and it is understood, it is expected even sometimes to see that happening, that because it is the case, no one bats an eye, so to speak, and because it is the case, there is no necessity at all to care about that. Therefore, when unavoidably that should not happen, unavoidably that should not be the case, we have always the possibility of possessing an interest on those things, of realizing what are the actual, I wouldn't say messages as if there was something very deep hidden within what you are seeing, very mysterious or whatever. It's simply the nature of, I feel like there is a lot of missed potential when you talk about, and indeed, here we also were seeing something else. What the fuck is this? Wait. Can I retry this? Like, what the fuck are those motorbikes? Let me lock this. Can I win by doing this simply? No, right? Like, they all get in anyways, so how do I even win? This case. Is there a way for me to win? Something tells me that there might not be any. The question then becomes how to actually win. Can I win? Do I actually need to restart? I guess so. Crazy. Crazy enough to see that be the case. Whatever. It is all good. This game is too addicting, man. You don't understand it. I am trying to speak and it's like, oh no, wait, new mechanic, new method, new thing. It is beautiful. It is. Now I see. Now I finally get why people like it, but at the same time, I don't understand how so many people slept on this game. This is a masterpiece. Not that far, but it is good. It is great enough, basically. And yeah, sadly, I didn't see it get any attention whatsoever. So over, man, for the indie games, indie titles nowadays, nothing gets at all the deserved attention, the deserved degree of recognition. Nothing is appreciated. A world in which no piece of media has any value anymore. Nothing matters. Nothing deserves to be highlighted. Nothing ever has that quality, nor should have it. And it's so grim, it's all so dark. Why is it the case? It's accepted as such. That's the best part of this. It is seen as normal when it might as well not need to be. Also, wait, this. It is out the quality of the things created, the quality of the product that is made out of that. Why accept all of it being so ignored? Why let it all pass into eternity without at all any mention of its existence for the future generations? So many great things like this also will remain unobserved. But maybe it's part of what's necessary when they will finally come to wake up from more mistakes. See that it was necessary to talk out those great pieces, those great creations. But we chose to instead ignore all of them. Also, I'm playing with fire with this Huckleberry thing. I feel like it's too much of a puzzle game, so my attention becomes simply the whole aspect of let's see how do I actually get to solve this. Excuse me, yes. It can happen, it's fine. In the end, nothing better than to be capable of concentrating on something, focusing on something. So, no need to actually worry. true. So I should still check like regularly the whole, what's the name? Shop. There is like an upgrade. I know that there is an upgrade for cactuses to start gaining levels. If I get that, we have won basically. It is doable. Only with not only. With that will be far easier, basically. There we go. Amazing sombrero cacti level up from killing goblins. We have it in the bag, brother. We made it. You see, sometimes you just have to ask for what you desire, for what you want. The world is so much more willing to give you what you have been looking for. You just never realized that it was necessary for you to make the commitment to open your mouth and say, indeed, my man, indeed, I want this thing. I myself have a desire that I want to see fulfilled, indeed. Can you give me this opportunity? Can you give me this gift? Can you also, Almighty, satisfy my interest this one-off chance? Amazing. So, what's next? I think we have it. I think we absolutely have it. Great. So great. What about creating something akin to a death corridor, like the enemies will trample those things and they will die. All of them will die. Amazing. This game became so much more entertaining. Sometimes the challenges that you choose are not so much of a difficulty, it's just about understanding how to solve it. That's why puzzles are so amazing. When it finally makes sense, it all clicks. Also, can I actually kill them? Yeah, I can. Ah. Beautiful. And cactus with a sombrero. Amazing. You generate more cash? What the? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to insult you directly, but you know what you are. Should have given me more cash in there. Cheap steak, let's say. Cheapskate. Also, I need to create an even longer corridor, taking into consideration that these ones have so much HP. Man. Also, I like that the guys are out there trying to explode stuff and whatnot, and I don't even really care about any of that. It is whatever. You can do whatever you want with the nuclear bombs. Like, if you want to explode them, do whatever you feel like doing. It's not my issue at all. Like, not even remotely close my issue at all. Now, I have a thought. The issue is that thought correct or is that thought wrong? Like, I can do this. Okay, I can do this. Also, I can't force enemies to go to the nuclear bombs. Like, it would be amazing to force them to go there. What the fuck? Ah, no. I thought They were planes actually. I'm losing it, sorry. Imagine at some point we reach modernity in the game, out of nowhere it becomes so much about this whole aspect of how humans, how we have come to deal with the issues that exist in this world and whatnot. Out of nowhere it's so surprising that the metaphor was also hidden within this game. No! Thank God you chose to not change your pathing. Amazing. Amazing. I almost something myself. Aye. What was that sudden opening, man? Also, how much HP do you have? 95. It was incredibly funny. I don't have enough damage to kill you. Something tells me. And you might ask me, how do you know? Don't we all want to know the same thing? Wait, I do? No, I don't. So, retry, let me see, there has to be one way to do it. The question is how, actually, like... Huh. Oh my god. And... wait. True. I have you killed. I think. I hope so. I trust the process. I didn't trust enough. Fuck. Wait. Maybe then. We can win. If I do this, I can place you there. How do I even win, actually? Like, is there any realistic way in which I can win? Something tells me that it's not possible, actually. Yeah. The dream didn't come true. Reality is harsher than fiction sometimes. This sad, horrible world, forcing young, innocent people like me to face the harshness of the world. So wait, what happens if I destroy this and then I create a path into a rester? You can go there, okay. What happens if I destroy all of this stuff? You go through the atomic bomb. If you hit it, you don't instantaneously die. You are such a fake boss. But, that's cheaper. That's actually cheaper than, okay, I think I have it. I think I have it. Like, you have to tank the atomic bomb first. Then after doing that, you're condemned to die, basically. Amazing. Nothing better than to generate absolute destruction. Also, I bought the things and I didn't even use them. I'm amazing. So, how did I survive? Okay, whatever. Whatever you say, my man. No need to question your authority. That was the run. Let me take a tiny break, I guess. Amazing. Amazing puzzle solving skills. However that happened. How? Did that actually happen? Anyways, I said, yeah, give me a second. Give me, like, let me, let me take. It's not so much that I want to take it, but rather that I need to take it. Tiny breaks for you. I will see you in 50 hours when the sun comes down again, when the time is right, when the opportunity to do so is correct. Until then, I don't know, look at the wall, concentrate in an empty point and empty your mind. Let it not be filled with anything but the desire to not think at all. No, sorry. See you soon. I don't know, man. I think that I like it. I think that I can say it was like when the game becomes even more amazing. What the fuck is this, Portal? No way. It gets even more complicated. Amazing. I was gonna exactly say that there is nothing more beautiful than the reality of the game out of nowhere getting so absolutely complicated. So many other layers of things, so many other stuff happening out of nowhere, not without any explanation whatsoever, but truly almost without a given reason, so really, so naturally, so beautifully, makes it amazing. It's that quality of games which, that's why it's good. It rarely gets created. The whole aspect of, yeah, this thing is good, because you can see how it actually gets to create something nice in and of itself, nothing else. Just because of that, it is amazing. Also, I literally don't even have crops. Why did I buy this? Why the fuck did I buy that? What crossed through my mind? I didn't buy it. That was a random gift. But yeah, I was saying. Something about games of this sort being so wild in their creations and in what they make. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think I wasn't really expecting that when I bought the game and whatnot, but seeing how it actually is, amazing. Something, once again, that's sudden encounter with the beautiful arts that truly carry within them that flame of passion, that desire to be a great creation, something more than just the basic experience, something that leaves you thinking about what you played, leaves you grasping at what you just did, at what you just saw. It's great. It's that kind of game that's lacking everywhere else. It's so good, so good. Cannot say that I regret having played this at all. This one is actually top tier. It's completely amazing. Also, I need actually some sort of crop that will let me. This thing, I already have it actually. I thought I didn't have the yam to actually survive, but no, I do. Good, good. So I was saying, yeah, I don't know. It's, to some degree, I always think that it is sad that novelty stuff of this sort gets completely, not completely ignored. It is, you realize that there are other things that get far more recognition, basically, and games like this don't deserve to die like that, basically. That's my thought. Games of this kind do not deserve to pass away without any mention whatsoever. It is a great game, actually. It is nice. And yeah, I do enjoy it. So, it is sad to see that people didn't give it a try at all. But sometimes it can happen, I guess. Sometimes. I actually heard something about that recently. The whole aspect of sometimes, no matter how good the thing that you have is, um, there is also a factor of luck, of being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people, having that degree of luck that will make it finally work, basically. And that is, I don't know, I feel like on a world it is so hard to actually grasp in terms of, really, the game just lacked that degree of luck. That's what happened. You are trying to actually tell me that, like, there is nothing else bad, wrong with this. It is a great game. And the only thing that was lacking was. Excuse me? You didn't have a house? How the fuck are you alive if you didn't have a house? Why did you make me buy. I love my troll golem friend. Can I actually win? Something tells me that I probably can't. Like, we will see. Maybe it was destined to not be a good run. But yeah, I was saying, I was basically being angry about the whole state of, oh no, yeah, you have to be lucky about the creations that you create and whatnot, and you have to have that factor of maybe sometimes it happens, maybe sometimes it won't happen, no matter how hard you try. So you just have to make sure that you give it your best. But it's sad. It's sad to see it like that. It's too negative. It's too nihilistic once again. How can we reduce it to just, oh no, yeah, it wasn't. It didn't get lucky enough. Really, you think that was what happened? I don't know if that was what happened. I don't want to believe in that sort of a story, that's a narrative. How can you tell me that it didn't get lucky enough? How can that sound reasonable enough? It just didn't get lucky. What do you mean? Like, sometimes it is all so luck-based. Isn't this world something that supposedly is far more fair? Why is all of it now based on this luck factor that we seem to speak so much about? What's the point then? Everything is out, yeah, this is truly. This was a lucky encounter, this was an unlucky encounter. What? Cannot be. Cannot live with that. Cannot deal with that. Doesn't compute, man. Do not say that. Do not give up on things that fast. Do not do that. That dream. This deserves to be better, to be more, to be much more. Why say that no, it wasn't lucky enough? And that's the problem. Really? You think that's the solution? Think anything changes when you say that? So, the human attitude has become so pessimistic. The human attitude in its entirety has become so absolutely pessimistic. Also, I want to buy this. I don't want to buy it, but I want to. Give me this. This whole, yeah. It is lag or nothing. Really? Think so? Don't say it. Even if you think so, don't say it. This time, you can keep it to yourself. You're not obliged to speak out your mind every single time. Also, no, it's this run is doomed actually. I was being too much of a fool. I was playing around with too much, basically. Do I need this? I don't need this. Like, this is great actually. Something out not getting any profit whatsoever is probably the outcome of my mind also like, it's really good. Something tells me that it isn't really good. Okay, I can do that. Also, I can remove this thing. Now I have come to regret my decision. Now I have come to understand my mistake. Now I see where I went wrong. Now I am a changed person who wants to say that they have seen where things went wrong. But maybe it is too late. Maybe the run is done. Maybe life is over already. There's nothing to do now. Nothing to change now. There is nothing to go for. There is nothing else. This is it. The end of the road has come suddenly. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry. Also, it isn't really that well. Actually, I am getting like so much cash. Amazing. I just needed to believe more. Just have to believe a little bit more. so many. I am generating way too much to the edit, which I think I'm starting to overwhelm my own placement of things like, hmm, how will I deal with this whole situation now? Mm. Give me that. Okay. We can solve it like that. I think so, yeah. Probably not. Okay, give me this. And give me this. Okay. So yeah, I was saying basically that yeah, I don't know. It's good. I feel like on a it is an amazing game actually. And sadly, to some extent, there was the sarcasm of, oh no, yeah, this game was ignored, but to some other extent, I don't know. Was it really not ignored? You're truly telling me that this game got all the attention that it deserved? I don't feel like that happened. I feel like to some extent it went absolutely unnoticed. I haven't really heard that many people late talk about it. Ah, no, you have come late to the trend. Perhaps do you truly think that's the case? I'm not so sure. This time around, I'm not so sure. Also, wait, can you here? And you can go here. And also, I forgot to tell you what's the atomic bomb out there. It was the most random thing that happened. But it didn't kill me, so I am happy. It could have ended the run. Also, why is the music so dark, so grim? Like, no, yeah, it's so over. It's the end of everything. You have come to the very end of every single thing that you ever wanted, you ever liked. Really, no. There are still more maps ahead. Like, why does it sound like it? Like there is nothing else. Like this is it. The end of the road is near us. Nothing more to look for. Nothing more to aspire to dream about. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's over. It's absolutely over. It was great. It was great. What? The time has come to say goodbye. So what's up? What's your problem? Why do you want to kill every single one of my... When are you going to stop trying to kill my goblins? Like... Let me actually try it. Let me see. Do you truly want to kill every single one of them? What's your problem? Why do you not let me... Can you change your routing? You're going to kill every single one of them. You're amazing. You are what's wrong with this world, man. Also this. Oh, I went wrong. I lost. Give me a second. Retry. What? Why do you not get scared? What's... You are an amazing creature. You are rotundly amazing. And this is here. Now comes the question of, can I place things without getting my Ah, because of you also. You're a part of the problem. Like, I see, I see. True. No, don't destroy a house. Don't. Do not do that. Do not give in to the temptation of destroying houses. Do not harm the poor civilians. Do not rid them of their places, of their habitats. Do not get it how much they have already sacrificed, what it means to them to not have a place to go back to. Do you not see it? Do you not understand what's the harm that you are doing? Can you please have a little bit of mercy? Do not give in, do not destroy their habitats. Even if you must go to war, please, I beg you, Mr. Goblin. I'm just too invested in the construction aspect of the game to actually have anything to say. Sorry, excuse me. I am using my cheap trick of everything else. Okay, this is it, probably. This should be one. There we go. Amazing. And now, so many other monsters that... Monsters? What are they called? Goblins that don't do anything. Amazing. This. What are you doing? I kept buying. It's like in the movies, the corridors of death, basically. Any single guy that has to go through that area is absolutely condemned to face their annihilation in that place. It's at the end of time, there stands that one last goal incapable of telling the rest how decimated they got. Also, this is a house? Yes, this is a house. Interesting. Also, why do you get a buff? What's up with you? Why do these people get the buffs? What? Gnomes? For each other type of gnome unlocked. Oh, okay. I just read that. Amazing. Amazing. So, I should actually be trying to buy that, no? So, I see. I should probably buy them, even if I'm not going to use them then. No. This thing, I know. What are these? Healers? Okay, it's doable. And now you all gain damage just because I bought another one of your kind. Amazing. This game is broken. This game is so easy sometimes. And more damage now. Yes, amazing. This guy over here. And ooh. No. You don't leave that area. You are condemned to be sitting there. We should win, like, do I really need to build much more? Just in case, let me destroy that. Let me place you over here. There we go. And okay. There we go. Okay. Do I need to place you to get the buff? No. That's the problem. I don't get it. Can happen, I guess. You do the same exact route? You are so there, brother. Even without me trying to change anything, you are so there. Yeah, no, no. Ah, amazing. This has become an absolute warfare of the 20,000 gnomes that I have against everything else. Understandable, I mean. I like that there is not even a lower explanation for anything that you see. You just accept whatever happens. The carnage that goes on, and you say, ah, yes, my dear gnomes, today we shall fight. And even if some of you will fall against these implacable enemies, you will all be remembered because you all contributed to the cause. You all made great sacrifices for the future of those whom you cared about the most. You were all great men, all significant participants. Each one of you will be now eternally remembered. Somebody who did something for this or kingdom, something like that. So what's up with this, guys? Changing the routing? No, no. Why did you change your routing? Happened? Why did they change the routing? What went on over there? Huh? Who knows? And let me. Okay, more houses. Cover encampments. Absolutely full. 66 gnomes. Am I going to play 66 gnomes? Absolutely not. But no, 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 no. Wait, wait, wait. You know what I can do? I can remove all of that. And then I can do all of this. So unnecessary, but I can do it. There we go. And now, literally, no way. Okay, one of them works. Every single other fucking gnome needs to be moved. Great. Thank you so much for that, man. Makes me feel so good. So we do. There we go. And you, why do you not hit there? Ah, yes, you do hit there, actually. And you, what's that? Ah, swamp. Fuck. Fuck. It's swamp. I get it. You're kinda dead, no? You're kinda both dead, no? What? What are you doing? Ah, you are exiting from there. Understandable. So, how do you clear that? Like, I have a good solution for you. It's called archers. They attack from a distance. You don't even have to think about it. There we go. Is it done? Yeah. Okay, final round. Yes. Where is the king? Over here. Can I avoid having you go over my troops? Like, can you actually? You're so amazing, dear king. Wait, wait. All of them are kings. Amazing. I am condemned to die, probably. I am not going to make it. Something tells me I understand now the motive. Now it all clicks. Can you stun? You can't stun. Can you give me something that stuns? Yeah, I'm doomed. Favorite part of it. I think I have more. Oh my god. Well, it was a great enough game, anyways. Not that I really wanted to win. I don't even have any more gold. Oh my god. Okay. There is a nice king somewhere. What is a nice king to begin with? Ah. You see that's why you shouldn't over worry. That's why you should not pay so much attention to what your mind tells you sometimes. Some days you're amazing, you're capable of surviving the difficulties that you find in your life, and the things that you say are going to kill me. They don't really kill you. Life is not so hard sometimes. You just make a greater image out the things because you don't understand that they are not that bad. Also, I just wanted to see what is this map about like. Yuck. Understandable. But no, I think that we're good, brother. I don't know how much we have been playing, but I feel like I entered a trance at some point and I said, you know what? Let's keep on playing. Enough. Enough is enough. Oh, yeah. What a video, man. This is a different kind of drag from Path of Exile, absolutely. So yes, no more, no more. No, shh. We are done. We are done before it ends up being 5 AM and I hear the birds chirping outside my window and I realize, oh no, I have been playing all the night this game. But no, it's you should buy it actually. You should completely recommend it, I guess. Yes, indeed. Nothing else to really say. Beautiful game. Relax, are the blood that runs in my veins. No, what are you saying? Whatever. Anyways, it was amazing enough. So yeah, thank you. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever. Take care. Make sure to rest, be well, everything. And yeah, see you next time. If we get to see ourselves next time, and even if there is no next time, thank you for everything. It was amazing. What a game.